Evet. Bugün George ile beraberiz. Birazdan kendisi bizlere katılacak. So today we are with George Yi, all the way from Indonesia. He's not from Indonesia, but he actually lived in many places in the world, and now he's in Indonesia. And there you go, the one and only Shorty George, George Yi. That's it. But he's like kind of vertical. Maybe he wants to.
What's going on?
Angle of his camera.
What?
Yes.
I have to change this.
That's right. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I tried to angle my camera for the laptop, but for the horizontal, but I guess this is not the best way to do it.
No, that's good. So,
okay.
George, I don't know. I was actually playing jingle for you.
Bingo. Okay.
Yeah, have you heard it or you were not able to?
Bingo. Yeah, man. I'm gonna figure it out, whatever it is, at 1 o'clock in the morning.
So, George, tell us, how is the situation in Indonesia?
And what time is it now?
It's 1 in the morning, and everybody is sleeping. So I decided to hide myself in this yoga place, which is a pretty big space. And I'm staying at a place that's like a yoga retreat. And so that's pretty nice. It's like a way to be in isolation, but still be around people that are really nice people. So you don't have to you're around the same people, so you don't really spread the virus, so much. And the situation here in Bali is that there is no lockdown, and it's actually pretty nice because then you can still take your scooter around and ride around. I think though the beaches are closed. The beaches are still closed, so you can't really go there or go to the touristy spots. But we don't have any issues here, like let's say going to restaurants or some of the restaurants, let's say here, they do have takeaway, so they don't actually let you sit down. But aside from that, it's actually feeling pretty normal here, and that we just practice social distancing. So in terms of the number of virus cases, I think I've heard that there's only like 20 virus cases.
20?
And also,
20?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yeah, in terms of like infections or whatever, people infected. And 2 people died, but like that was like a while ago, and they were old and they were from the UK. So yeah, the situation in Bali is not too, I want to, crossing my fingers here. Like, I don't want to say it's going to get any better or it's fine, but for now, everyone's being very cautious and practicing social distancing. We're wearing masks in the daytime. And I think everyone, including the Balinese, are being very, very careful. So yeah.
Great. So I see that you have a very good practice place over there. Are you able to practice anything these days?
Well, I mean, I use this space sometimes. The thing is, you can practice. It's just that it's so hot in Bali that like after 5 minutes, you're sweating, like my whole t-shirt's sweated through.
Yeah.
So I have been doing these things called jazz step of the day, like teaching one jazz step a day on Instagram. And every time I do it, it's like, okay, I have to like figure out how to do it in like 2 or 3 takes. Otherwise, I'm just like completely soaked, and then I look pretty bad in the video. So I try my best to really just like actually even have two pairs of clothes, for example. I have one where I practice it and then I switch to do the video sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's really hot here.
Actually, we may have done one of the first Lindy Hops in Bali, at least.
That's right, man.
Yeah, probably like maybe the guys from Jakarta came down to Bali, but I have actually been looking for some videos of like Lindy Hoppers in Bali, but I haven't seen one. At least like I emptied my phone, so I was gonna show it like our dance, but it didn't work out. Yeah. So George, you are traveling all the time, as we know it, and actually you have been in Iceland before, Denmark, Amsterdam, Turkey, where else? Spain, Australia,
Italy,
Italy.
Australia,
Yeah,
Lithuania, uh, Germany,
yeah, like
Sweden, Finland.
yeah, yeah. So like I would like to actually like start with like this because you're going as like artist in residence format, like for long term. Uh,
Yeah.
so do you see any cultural differences in dancing? Does it play a role on how people dance the Lindy Hop?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I think I think language and culture plays a huge role. For example, I did a 2-year residency in Budapest, and these are people I'm really fond of. But a lot of like the way they they started to move was very shy, and
Mhm.
the culture itself is very shy. So they will listen to what you do, what you say, but in terms of trying to like figure out how to put creative expression, and it has been a little more difficult. But it's not saying it's impossible. It's like it just takes a different approach. I would say I know that like Turks have a certain approach, and I know like Italians have a different approach.
Yeah.
So in the end, we all end up in the same, like all the top dancers kind of end up with the same like understanding. But when everyone starts, we all start from a different position. Actually, particularly what I really think is crazy is like counting, for example. I'm going to use the Turkish example.
Yeah.
Counting. So it's like 1, 2, 3 ve 4, 5, 6, 7 ve 8. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you think like American English, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? There's two different ways of the sound.
Mhm.
Like you have to be very clear in Turkish. You have to be 1, 2, 3 ve 4, where you can say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like you can really roll.
Yeah.
And so I think that affects the brain. And I think when Turks start to dance, it's very sharp. It's like, oh, two,
Yes.
poo, poo, pidoo. And I
Yeah.
think that comes from language. And when you soften things up, when you tell people to say the rhythm as the instructor says it, it changes. Otherwise, it goes with what the brain has recorded in the language part of their brain. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why we are trying to say just rhythm instead of the counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better that way.
Yeah.
So like does these differences affect how how you dance, like probably more on a social dance aspect, or do you actually still dance how you dance wherever you go?
Well, I take it more like I need inspiration everywhere I go. So even if you learn dancing, you get your own dancing gets stale because all you hear is your own voice talking to yourself, and so that's just like boring. So yes, I go to different scenes and I like to take in other people's culture because then that changes also the way I want to move. So yeah, I mean, I like when I see, for example, Turks really want to work on something.
Yeah.
And it's something like, oh wow, okay, they're working on something I don't usually work on. Like that's pretty cool. And I think, okay, I'm gonna like work on it, but I'm not gonna do exactly the same thing because I don't want to copy. I want to like get inspired and then like do something else. So I usually try.
All right. So I think George.
Biz de donarsak olur galiba Hakan.
All right. George got disconnected, I think. Did we also got disconnected or no? We cannot be. Uğur orada mısın?
Buradayım, evet.
Okay. So I hope he comes back, because the last time we tried to do, there was also some problems with the internet connection. And yeah, let's see. All right, there you go.
Oh, I'm back. Yes,
Yes.
good. Okay. I don't know, something with the connection.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Where were we at? You were saying something very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
it had to do. Well, it had to do with that I steal inspiration from people of different cultures, where they're working on something. When they're working on something new and different, I like to then work on my own something new and different.
And actually, you also said something about like how the Turks count and like how it's counted in English and how you can roll. So you actually can find ways to, like teach people. So what other kind of inspirations or approaches do you have for teaching lots of different people in the world?
Oh, okay.
I like, for example, you were in Taiwan also for, I don't know, 6 months, something like that. And
Yeah. I think, I mean, this is a personal thing. I don't think every teacher does this, but for me, getting to know the culture helps me teach the movements better for that culture. So if I'm in Turkey, for example, I think Turks, and I don't know how to say it in a better way, but it's not going to be that bad. Turks like to have fun. So in the classes, if you're too serious a teacher, some Turks tend to get bored, and that destroys your class. Like your class starts to fade because people bring the negativity into the class. So what I tend to do is I go, all right, you know what? I'm gonna join and like understand that, yeah, there needs to be some humor in here, and that it's got to be in the right amount, and that everyone would participate. So once everyone's participating, then everyone in the class is engaged in the positive way. So that's what I learned when I think about teaching. And then when I go to like, I don't know, if I go to like, let me use Hungarians as another example. That's the opposite. So they're ready to learn, they're there, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're learning, but they're so focused and they're not enjoying the inspiration of the actual dance. I'm like, I have to tell them, okay, guys, work on having fun, like work on smiling. It's like so strange, you know. It's like, okay, it's so different, you know. Ask them to work on smiling, ask them to work on a different approach. So yeah, every time I teach a different culture, I always have to adapt and modify the way I teach. However, the material still comes across just in a different approach everywhere I go.
Yeah. So actually, you've been so many years in Turkey, and you were here like since the beginning almost, and I think you're part of the Turkish scene. I don't know whether you feel like that, but we feel like that. So,
Evet ya, evet.
and I think you have witnessed most of the stages of the Turkish Lindy Hop scene. So, what's your opinion on both on the scene and the way people dance, like over the years?
Sorry,
Well,
I will interrupt before your opinion.
Yes.
For the audience, we got the questions before, but if you want to ask more, please write as a comment on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah.
Thank you.
so what do I think about the Turkish scene before and now?
Yes.
I like to say something, Hakan.
Everything is
Something.
something happen.
No, that's later. Later, yeah, later. I want to say, Hakan, are you dance? Are you dance?
How do you dance? Yeah.
Are you dance? um, okay, so the scene before and the scene now. You realize, Hakan, you're putting me in a bad position. You know, it's such a difficult question.
Yeah, that's bluntly says, man.
Okay, the scene before and the scene now. Okay. Okay, the scene before was oh, it was a small scene, and it was kind of a weird one because you had people who were excited to learn and enjoy the dance and be happy. I think there was like a total of like 80 people when I arrived, like maximum 80.
Not
And
even
then
probably
yeah,
40 or something.
and then I have to say, like, because like Istanbul is so weird, like if you walk down the street, anybody you meet, everyone has a different, like, everyone, you can't like generalize. Everyone is just have a different like, I don't know, personality. I don't know how to explain this, but okay, so when I taught a class back then, it was so hard to teach because everyone had a different viewpoint on things, and so it made it really hard to like spread the love of Lindy Hop because everyone had a different opinion about Lindy Hop, even though they don't even know what it is. So that was a trouble. So some people enjoyed the excitement of the dance, but other people joined not knowing why they joined and not knowing why they were there. So that was like kind of what I felt back then. And so back then I was like trying to deliver the culture, and I was trying to get to know Turks at the same time. And I was drinking lots of chorba so that people were like, oh, he's a cool dude. Oh, chorba. Oh yeah. so I so I did that. And I think we went to Kardeshlar Cafe like every day. Okay, so then back then it grew bigger, and now I have to say it's a totally different scene where I think you're getting, of course, the right people interested in Lindy Hop. So not just like random people in Lindy Hop, like I would think it's more like back then. It wasn't a bad thing. It was just that I knew like some people weren't really, I don't know, I kind of felt like, okay, in my heart, some of these people aren't Lindy Hoppers. And now I feel like, darn, there's just so many people that just like sucked in the Lindy Hop spirit.
Yeah.
Like right away. They see videos and they're just sucking it in. They're just like, I want more and I want to learn. I want to learn not just the move, but I want to learn how to be a Lindy Hopper, like behaving like a Lindy Hopper. And so it's really nice when I come to teach now these days. People are so respectful. They're asking great questions. When I say you need to work on, this particular bounce, they're like, okay, I have to work on it, and it makes sense. I should do this, and that didn't exist much back in the day. A few people did. A few people took privates with me, and they were like, okay, I have to do it. But they were thinking like they were like soldiers. So now people are taking lessons for fun and also working hard. Before it was like, I will do it because you said it, George, I will do it, like in a completely different way. Like, yeah, I don't know how else better to explain at this moment because it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for the scene, I don't know, like there's a lot to talk about with the changes of the scene from back then to now. I think the Istanbul scene has gone through a lot of struggle, and that struggle also made the scene grow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that made the scene oh,
No, you don't have to choose the words. This is the bluntly series, man.
bluntly. Okay. Let's put it this way. I've gained friends in the scene that I care about and love, and then I lost them. And 3 years later, I would gain them back.
Yeah.
And this is like just completely ridiculous. Like my mind is all like, I need to see a psychiatrist. Like my mind is all messed up.
Yeah, maybe
So,
Turks are very emotional.
yeah. I mean, I learned about this, and I learned about, if someone blocks you on Facebook or deletes you on Facebook, it's an emotional, passionate thing. So what I feel is that, I don't know, the scene has taken on new life because it has to, and people get into arguments over very silly things, in my opinion, and then like nobody lets it go. Nobody lets go, and then it just has to be that time passes, like years pass, and then all of a sudden everything is back to okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't remember what happened. You don't remember what happened, it's like, oh, nothing happened. That's it.
Yeah. I think we all should know that we are just dancing. We're not like making this how do you call rocket science. So we should just enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I like, okay, I have a, like, yes, dancing is the one.
İlker wrote it. He is acting.
Yes.
But unfortunately not. And now probably
I think he'll be back soon. Yeah. All right. So yes, Ush, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you,
More,
Hakan?
more. How are you?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
George.
So, George, we have some questions.
Yes. Are you ready for it? What comes in your mind? That part. What comes in your mind? Frankie Manning.
Frankie Manning. Aerials. First air step.
Dean Collins.
Dean Collins. The Dean Collins Shorty George. He does a different version.
Okay. Shorty George.
Oh, the original Shorty George Snowden, who is very short and then made his move even shorter.
Okay. Bounce.
Bounce is like a basketball.
Nice. Fast dancing.
Fast dancing is highly fun.
Okay. Slow dancing.
Slow dancing is also amazing.
Okay, connection.
Oh man, this stuff is killing me. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you say the word connection? What connection? People and dance.
People and dance. Nice. Okay, pide.
Pide. Yumurtalı.
Gözleme.
Patatesli.
Okay, blues.
Blues. I don't have one word for that.
Hadi
Hadi
blues.
blues. Hadi. Hadi is my word. Hadi.
Okay, Orient in the Express.
Orient Lindy Express. DJ.
Salsa.
Salsa. I don't have a word. I have a hand gesture.
Nice. Okay, Charleston.
Charleston. Kicks.
Kicks. Competition.
Competition and show.
Showcase. You can show as a gesture.
Gesture.
Mhm.
Showcase?
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
That's it.
So Ilber says that he thinks you're using the strategy that the World Health Organization official used against the Taiwanese reporter. You know, he kind of
Oh my gosh.
he froze because like they I think someone asked about like I think not it wasn't a Taiwanese reporter but like someone else, but they asked about Taiwan and he didn't want to answer because anyway, so it's
Okay.
kind of diplomatic.
I have
So-
Yeah,
some.
watch out, man. Watch out. I'm Taiwanese, so
yeah
don't be talking weird.
I'm supporting your cause, man.
Yeah, don't you call me Jackie Chan. I'm gonna kill you.
No.
Hey,
So-
George.
So
Jackie Chan değilim ya. Jackie Chan değilim.
So we
Okay.
got some other questions from the audience. Duru asks, you once said that Ur made a revolution, like I think in Turkey. What do you mean by that?
Oh, I
What-
deny all things I've said before today. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I think if I remember the conversation, I think what I meant was that Ur changed his dance so much from being a person who was copying someone perfectly or copying different dancers, like as perfect as he can and making mimics,
Mhm.
to deciding to finally change his dance to discover Ur himself and try to pull that out. And it's not easy. You can't, like, when I tell someone, hey, you have to be yourself, they just like act all stupid or they don't do anything at all. And that's the hard part when you're dancing. You have to find yourself in the dance.
Yeah.
You can't just copy Pamela and be like, I'm just gonna be like, okay, you're Pamela. Anything new? Can you, I'm feel like I'm talking to Pamela, or I feel like I'm dancing with a Pamela. But I could dance with Pamela if I want to, better than you can dance, Pamela, So I try so I kind of like, I think when I talked to War one day, I was really trying to help him because he was depressed and down, and he's like,
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
what can I do with my dance? And I was like, look, man, you're at a point where you're not gonna grow until you kind of like, you have to let go of certain things and just open up your dance and like kick in a different way and just go from there, or let yourself explore your creativity, but then you have to improve the quality at the same time. So that's a difficult thing, and yeah, I think when I saw Ur like change, I was glad to see somebody else dancing, not a copy.
Mhm.
Thank you
I
very
was
much.
really, and then I was really glad that, since he's teaching, that really, the idea there is like, I hope people are not just copying Ur. They're taking, yes, they're copying him, but then they go, okay, I'm going to change something.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So
I
another
remember that day.
question. I think that's on. You said like people are now. You feel that people are now in Turkey feels like a real Lindy Hopper. So would you describe to behave like a Lindy Hopper? What is your definition? This is Pınar's question.
So let's put it this way. I think to start Lindy Hop, even as a beginner, a real Lindy Hopper is one who starts to grow, not just from the dance steps,
Mhm.
but grows with the community around. So there are people who are just stubborn and they don't grow. They maybe they get good at the dance, but I think people need to grow in respect and as we said about connection before, like you're gonna connect like a human being to another. And I think with Lindy Hop, it happens that way. And like I'll tell you, like my story is the same as so many other Lindy Hoppers. I was a programmer.
Yeah.
And I learned my steps. I did my thing. I was, quiet. I was shy. I know it doesn't show now because I'm a teacher. I can't be like shy. I have to, talk to people and be open. And so that's what I learned as a Lindy Hopper is that I go out there. I'm scared, of course, because I was, let's say I was dancing for 3 months or something, and they tell you to go to the social, but of course you're like so petrified when you get to the social. Everyone dances better than you. But if you go there, part of the Lindy Hop culture is that hopefully that the dancers who are better than you will help you in a way. They'll help you, not necessarily with dances all the time. That's not always helping because some students rely on the teachers, and that's also bad when it's like, okay, the teacher's here, let's just run to the teacher. That's not good. You can rely on them for advice and things like this, how to become better as a Lindy Hopper and as better as a person. But the idea is a Lindy Hopper is a person who's open, who goes to the dance, tries to be brave, does their thing with their steps, but then they learn new things along the way and they grow. So Lindy Hoppers grow to be nicer people, and they just open up like in many other ways, like in clothing, in music, and this just opens up many different avenues. So when I think of Lindy Hopper, I think of becoming a kinder, nicer person in general, very friendly. Second is, having better taste of clothes after a while. Third, you definitely know what good music is. Hopefully stay long enough. You develop, that's a hard question, man. What's a Lindy Hopper? You let people in your homes. That's a definite Lindy Hopper quality. When you travel, you hope other people will let you in their homes. That's actually very Lindy Hop. I don't know. I don't have any other. That was a hard question for me. I hope I answered it. If
No,
you
that's
have
good. Yes. So actually, as I told before, like you were in Reykjavik, and in Reykjavik, you started the Reykjavik rhythm group, and in Amsterdam, yeah, and it's been going on for I don't know 10 years now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And in Amsterdam, swing out of pocket, and in Turkey, Hadi
Yes.
blues. So how did you make them possible in a nutshell, maybe? And how can you find catchy names? Did you freeze?
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Yes, he got frozen again, and
Okay,
so
you
I have many screens, so I don't know when he gets frozen, but okay, he'll be there.
Ilber said that one being a Lindy Hopper is being a good person first. I read this in a YouTube comment. He said that.
Which YouTube comment? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I read this in a YouTube comment. It said, I being a Lindy Hopper is being a good person first. Yeah. Do you agree? I think he would agree. Why not?
You agree, Hakan? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I
Oh,
agree too.
you're actually, am I also frozen? Yeah, interesting.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I also agree. I'm actually looking towards you right now.
Are we back?
And we're
Okay.
back.
Yes.
I don't even know. So, okay, Amsterdam.
So, like, yeah,
They had 4 schools and no social dance. So I was working IT back then, and I thought I need to dance. So it was a selfish need. I said I need to dance. I created a social, and then I learned to DJ from those dances because I had to prepare 4 hours of music every week.
yeah.
So that was the reason for that, and I was glad to do. And then I went to Reykjavik in 2009. Is that right? 2009 or 2010?
Yeah.
Like, anyway, there I was teaching for 3 months. I quit my IT job and I just decided to say, all right, well, I'm good at building socials. So I built the Reykjavik Rhythm Groove in a culture where there were very reserved people. It's so difficult to get people together. And it was pretty successful. Like, got them together and they're still running it. I think they run it out of respect for me because I think that's kind of their culture. And then the third thing was the Hari Blues.
Yeah.
I ran that because of Yamaç Usta and Deniz Adalar.
Wow. Yamaç Usta.
Yamaç Usta.
Yamaç Usta.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
been like 10 years.
Yeah,
No.
nobody knows this guy, I think. But I think people know Deniz Adalar.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, they both came up to me in a Lindy Hop class. I mean, this is like one of the very first Lindy Hop classes I taught in Turkey. And they said, hey, can you teach us blues? I love it. I saw it online or whatever. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to teach it because, you have no place to dance it and you don't have a way to do it. All you have are Lindy Hop nights that last for 2 hours anyway, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
hours. So they said, please, like we want to. And I said, okay, fine. You want a blues dance? Fine. And I called Oksana Pavlova over for a workshop from
Yeah.
Ukraine. Yep.
Yeah.
Oksana Pavlova. We did a workshop, I think, with 26 people. So it was a good workshop to start. And they said, after the workshop, I did a social dance, like for blues. And they said, thank you. Like, thanks for bringing it. I'm like, so you guys asked me to do this. Guess what? You're going to come every Wednesday to a blues night. And they said, what? Why can't we just do it at the Lindy Hop night? I said, no, we're going to have blues every Wednesday. And I pushed them, and Dennis and Yamach came to the blues nights because they're the ones who asked me for blues, and they knew that they had to come. So that's how blues started, Hadi Blues, and I'm glad that it's still there.
Great. I hope it's gonna be for more years to come. So yeah. So all right. Do you right now like practice anything for your dancing? And can you explain us how you practice the things that you're practicing? now, and how did you practice before, like let's say 10 years ago, when you were just improving yourself still?
Okay. Well, I mean, when I started doing Lindy Hop, it was more just about general movements, like mostly footwork, or I don't know, just not thinking about like the toe or the heel or the part of a heel or the part of my hip, actually, like, or so now this is what I think about when I do something. I think, oh, you know what? It's not just like a leg. I could take my leg and do this with my leg. I'm like, what part of my leg needs to do something in order to make a certain look. So when I practice, I start to think about where I hold my tension in my body, and I watch other dancers and I go, that's not where they hold their tension. It doesn't look right. Like, because if I hold it there, then that's why it's causing a difference in my movement. And then I really focus on these little details to find the release. Like, and once I find the right detail, I go, that's how that dancer is doing this. And another thing is I watch dancers and I know, like, for example, the triple step is a technical term. Like, okay, but when you learn a triple step, or when you learn how someone dances, you learn how they do a triple step. So when you learn how they do their triple, it affects the way they move their body, and it affects like how you change your dance. So I learned Sky Humphrey's triple step. It's so different from, for example, a Dax Hawk triple step, or even Frida has a different triple. Like, people have different feelings in their triple steps, and that's why it changes their movement. So that's kind of what I focus on these days. I try to look at actually very old clips and go, how did John Bubbles like do this? Like, he looks so much cooler doing the same exact step, and it's so simple. It's basic Charleston, like stuff like this.
Great.
Yeah. And how do I practice? Yeah, I mean,
like when you were learning how to do the Lindy Hop, like the first years, what were you practicing, and like what can you advise to the people who are just learning Lindy Hop or in an advanced stage and who is like up and coming?
My advice always has been, if you go slower, you go faster. So if I hear someone say, just do this over and over again, say the words like kick, step, rock, step, do this, those words. I want their body to do it. And if their body isn't doing the right kick step, then they just have to do it slower until that feeling comes through. And I think a lot of people tend to just hear the words triple step or hear the words kick step, but they don't change the way they do it. They just do it the same way all the time. And that's not learning. That's just executing. Like, okay, if you learn, let's say I'm okay. It's like if I learn Turkish badly, and it's like, yeah, I know how to say, how are you? It's nasılsın. That's how you say it, nasılsın, ne yapıyorsun? And like, that's just gonna totally destroy the language. Just like, doing a bad triple step or a different triple step is gonna destroy Lindy Hop. So it's like, I think beginners should really pay attention to like when they do practice any one particular move, really practice it to improve the quality, and do it very, very slow. So I don't know, like when I learned Turkish, I didn't like the hardest word for me in Turkish in the beginning was alabilir miyim? And I had to break it. I had to do it slow. Alabilir miyim? And after a while it works.
So actually, I think all the people who are listening to us can understand that you have a great passion for teaching. And I know that like many advanced dancers like come back to take classes from you, like even like
That's
private
right.
or both private and like the class lessons, because I think you're a very enthusiastic teacher.
Yeah.
So how do you keep yourself motivated after so many years?
Oh man, you're really asking the blunt questions, man. These are like freaking, I mean, it's freaking hard to stay motivated after, I don't know, what is it now, 15, 16 years?
Yeah. Because
Well,
you sometimes teach the same things over and over again.
yeah, I mean, okay, like, are you asking about teaching or are you asking about learning the dance? Which one?
Okay, I asked both of them. Yes.
Well, okay. Teaching has always been interesting in the same sense that I talked about before. Like, if I meet a new culture or a new person, I always try my best to adapt the way I teach to the person I'm speaking to. So, in a way, I love privates because it's a challenge for me to learn how the other person thinks and then teach it in the way that that person thinks, so that eventually that person's going to think like me, if that makes any sense. So if I get to their brain, they're going to go, oh, now I understand George. And now I understand why he thinks Lindy Hop is like this. So it's like, you know, halfway thing. So teaching has always been like more fun if I get to get challenged by different kind of students. And students that love to absorb everything I say, of course. Dancing is that's a freaking tough one. I mean, to get excited about dance is more like a personal thing, and I try my best to not necessarily learn something more complicated, although that's part of it. You know, sometimes I would go, all right, I'm in the mood to learn a routine, so I'm gonna go after it.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, okay, I'm just bored of myself, I'm gonna learn a routine. Or another is like, it's nice to work with other dancers. So sometimes I just get inspiration from other dancers that they can do the same exact move that I do, but it looks different. And I'm like, whoa, I want to learn how that works. How do I stay motivated?
Oh. So yeah, like he's getting frozen like in difficult questions. I'm like, how do I get motivated?
Now he's thinking a lot.
Yeah, yeah, he's been thinking. So
Does it work? It's
yes,
disappearing.
how do I get motivated?
It disappeared?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know where I ended up, but
No, you just said, yeah, how do I get motivated? And you look like over here, and then
I said so much crap. Like, all right, did you hear the teaching part or what?
the teaching part, yes.
You
Yeah,
heard it, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so the dancing part is all gone.
No, no, the
Like
dancing
explaining.
part is almost there also. It's just like the
Okay,
last 20, 30 seconds.
great. I don't know. I think I was just rambling, but I
Okay.
said other dances inspire me. Like, I don't know. Actually, I'm doing like calisthenics. That actually inspires me because I become more fit to do moves that I couldn't do before of good quality. So it helps my quality. Or like aerials and things. Like, it helps my aerials, my core. I'm doing some kind of stretches in yoga. Stretching is good, I think. Flexibility. What else? Sometimes I just like to tap. Like I don't do tap, but like I like to experiment with different parts of my foot and make sounds with it. I mean, and especially while I'm dancing, maybe just like see what new thing I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's new, but I just try to do something
Mhm.
new for me, let's say, or just try to make myself not fall asleep doing my own dancing.
Yeah, sometimes you dance with yourself
Yeah.
pretty often.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing that a lot, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old.
How
But
sen
yeah.
hepimizi gömersin be.
Huh?
No, there's a saying in Turkish like you bury us all.
Hey, okay.
When someone says like I'm getting old. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yaşlıyım.
George,
Yes.
versene borç.
Olmaz. Olmaz ya. Olmaz Uğur. Bende de yok.
Okay,
Uğur.
I will tell two things and you will choose one of them.
Uğur. Uğur. Tell
Okay,
me
George,
Uğur.
blues or Lindy Hop?
Lindy Hop now.
Technique or playfulness?
There's no or. What do you mean? Like
Choose
there's no
one.
or.
No,
Choose one. Is this like today? Like I'm working on today? Technique, yeah, technique.
competition or showcase?
This is very easy, yeah. Showcase. Showcase everything. Everything is something happens.
Yeah.
Okay, connection or aesthetics?
What?
Connection,
I don't understand.
connection or aesthetics?
Connection. Yes.
Judging or competing?
Competing.
Triple or Charleston?
Triple.
Okay, fast dance or slow dance?
Fast.
Fast. Pide or gözleme?
Gözleme, of course, man. Tabii gözleme.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
That's it.
Great. So,
Well, yeah.
so, so you're also one of the prominent DJs in the world. Can we say in the world? I think so. Why not? At least in Europe, but
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
like a big chunk of the Lindy Hop world scene.
Yeah.
So, do you think that like gaining more knowledge on swing music, like develops your dancing or understanding of your dancing?
I think that's a dumb question.
Yeah,
Like, of course.
of
Like,
course. So, can
yeah.
you tell us why?
Tell you why.
Yeah, why would it improve our dancing?
Because, like, why do you do Lindy Hop? Why did Frankie Manning do Lindy Hop? He had a band in front of him with
Yeah.
Chick Webb, and they had to dance. And guess
Yes.
what? They created things from the music.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
yeah.
what do you think about like in some schools they actually play, especially for the beginners, they play let's say more popular music as in like, you know, pop or rock and roll or these kind of music. So
Swing.
what do you think about this approach?
Okay, so this is like another thing about like culture, right? Like the trouble with like just playing 1920s, 30s music, like from the era, is that like people who start the dance can't hear the rhythm. And so I can understand why people use more pop music or whatever. I don't want to use more pop music. I want to use more high quality, like bands of today that play the 1920s and 1930s music, because that's the sound we dance to.
Yeah.
So I want them to hear the drums, and I want them to hear the double bass in the music, because that's how we bounce. That's how we feel it. Doom, doom, doom, doom. This is how we get our bounce.
Yeah.
But I can understand, like, there are many reasons why scenes choose different music. I don't particularly like it. I don't mind if some people choose a few songs maybe, but their whole playlist shouldn't be like some other music. So maybe a few to get people interested, for example, like if it keeps beginners to stay long enough to get into the intermediate, where it's like, that's where you should be using, like, you know, all swing music, just like, you know, really, really educate. But I think to get people in, you have to transition from, you know, one to the other. You could also just start with, you know, pure, you know, old school swing music. I think that's you know, a great way. I admire those people who can actually keep a lot of dancers by playing old tunes.
Yeah.
I just think not everyone would start that way, and it's hard to get people interested. And even myself, I hated swing. I hated swing music. So I know, right? What Shorty George just said. I used to listen to rap and hip
I
hop
froze now.
with the big eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I I did a whole 180 because I learned to appreciate the music. Um, I don't know, after maybe 6 months, I guess. But before that, you know, I was like, you can dance Lindy Hop to anything, and that's a stupid. You know, I was being silly, of course, but I think if you're if you're more than a 6-month dancer and you're thinking I can dance Lindy Hop to anything, okay, I think you should educate yourself more on the music and how it makes us, you know, move and feel. So please, please do that. Whoever's using pop music to make their Lindy Hop better.
All right. So this is Nazla's question. Many people think that DJing is solely preparing lists and playing on the shuffle mode. But what
Oh
is
man.
actually DJing? And a follow-up question is that why should the event organizers regard it as a legitimate role in the Lindy Hop community?
Okay. Those are good questions.
Yeah.
It's like stuff that would take me 3 hours,
Yeah.
4 hours to explain over a beer.
Maybe we should do another volume, like
maybe
with
just
George,
related.
volume 2.
Yes, bluntly.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first question? I mean, like,
What is DJing? Like, is it playing music in a shuffle mode, or how do you approach DJing?
Okay. Let's put it this way. When I DJ, I look for someone at the end of a song. If they start to clap, seriously, if they just start clapping at the end of the song, it means I did a freaking amazing job. It means that all the songs that I played up to that very cool song that everyone was like, yeah, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I built a story.
Yeah.
And that story eventually made people so high, like, you know, like tapping the vein, that they felt so high that they had to clap. They had to feel this good. And I think that's what a DJ does. When you put a playlist on shuffle, you might get that cool song, but then people will go, oh man, I heard that song again. I don't like the song. I'm bored. And that's because of the way people play the music. They just, it's exactly why you're bored. You're bored because someone didn't actually try to make you feel the, um, the story to get to that song or to different songs. So each DJ tells a story, and truthfully, if the DJ is bored, for sure the dancers are going to be bored. If the DJ is really telling a nice story that's like with common songs that are cool, but also telling like little interesting no-name songs like people don't know very well, it makes people more interested. But if you play the hits all day long, it's like, okay, you're just telling the same boring story every dance. And then no one even improves their dance because they hear the same breaks all the time. So DJing helps people break out of that and also improve their dancing because they'll hear a new song and they have to find new breaks and new ways to dance. So that's just like a quickest explanation I have because there's just tons more I can say.
Yeah, like actually we have to limit our session with 1 hour.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I have actually tons of questions, but I think these are the ones who are really, you know, very like seeking, and then people were asking about these questions quite a lot about you. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, very nice.
Yes, thank you very nice. That's
Thank you,
actually
very
how we
nice.
are.
Teşekkür ederim.
Yeah. So enjoy Bali and don't get the belly.
Yeah, man.
And
And
yeah,
dengue fever, where you
yeah,
get bitten
dengue
by a
fever.
mosquito and you get
Yeah.
a whole week of pain. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope to see you this summer if you're still there in Bali. I'll hopefully, why not, be coming for
Yeah.
some surfing.
It's good to see you guys online, Hakan, Uğur. Thank you for this, and I'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Görüşürüz o zaman.
Yes. So now we have coming up with Bilge Shim Sham. If you want to get instructed about Shim Sham, join us in 5 minutes. And this is Shorty's Gotta Go, right?
Shorty's gotta go.
Shorty's Gotta
Yep.
Go.
Gidiyorum.
Bye.
Görüşürüz. I said, who is you? Should I leave? George.
Yeah.
This is